I got to be careful because I've got some family that's on this wagon, and boy, I tell you what, they just wear me out. I do not worry about stuff at all. And they're just, well, I don't know, you got to worry about going to church down at Levy. You know, that neighborhood's kind of rougher. Well, you got to worry about that car. You know, the airbags, they've gone up. You know, and it just every conversation is something about just you got to worry. You need to pay attention. Worst case scenario, always. And for and like I said, some of these numbers we're going to wear out everybody. And so there are parts of them that are hard to for all of for us to take. And so this side of the 6 is particularly hard for me. I'm not in that category. I don't see that.
But Shannon's wife, youth minister over at Central, he told a story of one time where his phone dies, and immediately when your husband's phone dies, she just goes to he died. He was like, she has played through the scenario in her mind of the police showing up and explaining how he died. His car accident, ran off the road, head-on collision, and she has these full conversations with the person. And just the phone died. He didn't answer the phone once. Worst case scenario, keep calling him until he answers. That's worst case scenario. Some of us think worst case scenario like that's how this works, but
yeah,
you don't know how. You just get in a 6 mind, and it's really worst case scenario.
So they're paranoid, and it can be very defensive about it, But it also rigid and legalistic. That's that kind of really loyal side coming through as well. Just like I said, we need to move on.
Talk style. I got another point on this one. We'll talk about it in a minute. But friendly, warm, second guessing, devil's advocate. They can usually play the other side of whatever side you're on, because again, they're either skeptic or they're loyal, so they can be on either side of it. Slippery slopes and hidden agendas. Gossip. Ask about you, but rarely share about themselves, because again, they are in trying to figure out the thinking is about the other people, not about themselves. They're not sharing about themselves because I don't want you to learn too much about me because, I'm fearful of that. So this is one number in particular that can almost be broken into 2 numbers. They can range from reserved, phobic, to outspoken is counterphobic. So this is fight or flight. Fight or flight. So you have a response to fear, it's fight or flight. So 6s have a response, fight or flight. They either become kind of bold and outspoken and can stand up in the midst of that, or they're the reserved and run from it.
Be thinking of the animals.
Yeah. Self-talk. I do what I'm supposed to do. Others don't. So 6s are big rule followers. If there are some rules, Jonathan's wife's a 6. We were just on a trip to San Antonio, and they had a list of rules out, and it said 10 p.m. Bring the party inside, because we had a bunch of teams. They have a pool and stuff and a deck. Bring the party inside and not disturb the neighbors. Allison's 100% at 10 o'clock we're coming inside. I'm like, they're being quiet though. What's the matter? Bring them inside. It says this. But 6s are, again, am I loyal to this rule or am I skeptical of this rule? So there might be rules that don't apply to them. Speed limit, that don't apply to them. That's just a suggestion. So they have, it's really whatever's convenient for them. If they're trying to make other people feel bad, the devil's advocate idea, I'm on the other side of this. I'm going to play up that stuff to make you follow the rules. So Allison does that with all the teams every time we're on a trip. All the teams got to do exactly what this says. But she ain't got no rules. Y'all can't go in and get a snack. I'm going to go in and get a snack. That kind of thing. So, self-talk. I do what I'm supposed to do. Others don't. So, again, they do what they're supposed to do.
All right, so that passion, that fear where they, or can be a little off-center there, fear. And put in parentheses, anxiety. And you can kind of picture this for a 6 who is encountering the world, and they're just anxious because they see worst case scenario in a lot of times. They see what could go wrong, and they're constantly concerned about that. And so that just plays off on. And the thing is, they're never really in the now. It's kind of, well, this could happen. And so they struggle with the present. It's not now. It's, well, this might happen in the future. This could happen. And so constantly just being, I would say kind of worn down by having to look out for well, what could happen? What could happen? Of course, this is the passion. This is the thing that they can struggle with. But the childhood message, what they heard in some form, was it's not okay to trust yourself. You've got to worry. Don't rely on yourself so much. Look out there and see what's going on, and don't trust in yourself. You got to be worried about all these things that can go wrong. What they need to hear is, you're safe. It's okay. It's all good, and don't worry about it. We got this. So they just kind of need that assurance that it's going to be okay.
Last spring break, I was driving the bigger bus, and I scraped a car. It's the first time I'd done something in one of our vehicles, and I scraped this car.
Why you gotta go there?
I couldn't fit. I just couldn't fit, and I was trying to get around. It was this weird Zaxby's parking lot, and I scraped this car. I mean, it was like a scratch like this big on our vehicle. And Dalton's here too. Nice. I didn't even know you were here, my man. So great. This is a story about Dalton. Dalton's my co-pilot. Dalton's my co-pilot.
Did you really not know he was in there?
I did not, Joe.
I was like, call him out. This is what he needs.
Nice. Love my man. My man's a 6. So he's sitting in my co-pilot, and I wing 6. So don't. I got nothing against him. Trust me, I feel this stuff too. So I scraped this car. My man Dalton just can't trust me to drive no more. Every time we get in the car, Jesse, you gonna hit something again? I mean, me and Dalton both, the next 3 hours rolled in silence. Because we just thought about how horrible that was. I hated it. And I winged 6 hard. And it's funny because we'll see how that plays into my 7, because my 7 reframes everything into a positive. But this is worst case scenario. So I always think of the worst case scenario, but I'm hoping for the best. Because that's just the way I am. I'm ready for the worst, but I'm hoping for the best. So, Aaron, what's our mascot?
What do you think represent? Go ahead. Angel.
Rat.
A rat?
Why do you say a rat?
Well, because my rats, they're kind of skittish. Like, if I have rats, and they won't come all the way out of the cage, and they won't, if you come in fast at all, they're going to freak out, and they're
Okay.
going to run away from you.
So kind of get spooked easy. They're always kind of on the watch.
They need to know who you are and what you're doing before you touch them.
All right, good one. 6 is what else?
A skunk? Okay, I like that. What's that? Yeah, I think that is good.
Listen,
All right, here we are.
Some great rodents there.
I got 5 of them. All right. So we got a mouse / or rat. Rat was actually in the list too. Mouse and rat were both in the list. So these ones right here are kind of our skittish. Rabbits and deers always seem to be ready to hop away and spring away from whatever danger it is. You're just like, man, it's like they knew I was coming. They did. They're always ready. And then the wolf and the German Shepherd both represent the stand up, no, I won't back down from this moment. The fight mentality. And the wolf has a pack that it feels safe in too. So again, having that community aspect, 6s feel safety in numbers for sure.
I mean, what I was thinking about the deer, have you ever seen a deer and you just go, they don't look relaxed at all. I mean, just always just like, they're just, take it easy, you're safe. You're in my yard, I don't even own a gun. You're gonna be okay. Kind of thing. And I just see that in the deer coming out because it just kind of jumpy a little bit. Always looking, but it's like I said, a safety thing.
All right, roll on. All right, so 7, the enthusiast or the adventurer. This is Jesse Wayne. Deep motivation. Me and Joe were having a conversation today, and I just found this really interesting. But my deep motivation is to avoid pain and negative emotions. And I put in parentheses to be happy because everyone else is like to do something, but mine was to stay away from something.
Yours was put in negative.
Yeah, we kind of put it into a negative context, but it's essentially to be happy, whatever I find happy, whatever the 7 that person is, to find happy.
And so that particular definition didn't make him happy. It didn't seem very cool. It seemed very fun. It seemed kind of negative and kind of fun.
Joe, calm down. Basic fear is being deprived of pleasure or becoming trapped in pain. sevens struggle with this, and so when I read this stuff, sevens especially think, why don't other people think like me? Why don't do other people not feel that stuff? That just feels like spot on. But anyways, Joe, share about my gifts, please.
You watch these videos, and you watch me over here standing here talking, and then you watch Jesse teaching when he's on, and there's a marked difference between the two. He's energetic. What is gregarious?
Gregarious? I looked it up last night. Because I didn't know what that was either. I may have forgotten. Oh, it's like I like people or something? Yeah.
All right, optimistic. Optimistic. Isn't like always, hey, it's going to be good. This going to be fun. This is going to be great. Once again, personality, armor, think that this is what I want people to see me as. I am happy. Okay? And so when they're optimistic, they're not worst case scenario. They're not sad. I want you to see me as optimistic. Spontaneous. Have any of you ever called Jesse and say, hey, would you like to, and before you can even say the next phrase? Yeah. I mean, he's in. He's in. Every single time. Hey, Jesse, you want to? Yep. And that's the answer. Spontaneous, ready to go. The drop of a hat. I don't know about imaginative and charming, but those are up there. So.
Joe.
That wasn't very charming. But yeah, I mean, and so when you're thinking of trying to,
I was just gonna skip up on it.
he's not happy. No, I was just thinking about just imaginative and always just looking for what's a kind of a creative fun thing we can do. What's always on the outlook for on the lookout for something that's kind of fun and out there. Just mind's constantly working, going through that. Vulnerabilities. Narcissistic? I'm not so sure. Impulsive? Undisciplined? Self-destructive and restless. It comes with the downside. I mean, it's always happy. It's hey, it's hard for the moment not to be about Jesse. It's hard for it not to be about, hey, I'm here. Now is when the party begins. So when you think about some of these things, it's when you think about impulsive and undisciplined, there are times in our life when we nose to the grind and I got to get this done, instead of just, well, let's do what sounds like fun. Let's do what, be spontaneous and nope, got to get this done, and that can be kind of a struggle. Self-destructive, Jesse, what's that?
Well, we're going to talk about my sin in a minute, or my downfall or whatever, but we can lead down a path of addiction. We have very addictive personalities because we're addicted to fun. We're addicted to the things that make us happy. And if we find a negative thing that makes us happy, we'll lead on a path of self-destruction.
So looking for that, I mean, in good ways and bad ways, but looking for that high.
A very famous 7 is Robin Williams. So if you can relate to his story at all, I mean, it ends in suicide. So I was looking at a lot of famous 7s, and a few of them end in suicide. Because at the end, they didn't have the thing that made them happy. They're searching for something. Good thing I got Jesus. So.
But yeah, and restless, so it's just like, I can't stay put because there's something else. There's always something else. So, and just kind of that, don't think in the sense of like attention deficit type. But I mean, if there were a personality that were attention deficit, it is, a squirrel, kind of thing. So just restless. I can't stay put. We gotta keep it moving. All right, let's keep this moving.
All right, talk style, joking, entertaining, upbeat, storytelling. One of my books says that's one of our superpowers is telling a story. We're good storytellers, and I don't have tons of 7s in my life to relate to, but I believe that's been true for the most part. Framing and imagination, so we can reframe things into a positive light. Exaggeration, we'll make the fishtail better, so it makes a better story. We'll expand, so it makes it more fun. Reframing to find a silver lining, man, we are good at that. We're good at that. I'm definitely cup half full, that whole thing. Self-talk, I am happy. So I just want to continue to tell myself I am happy. And I could be happy if others would just give me what I want. Like I could just be happy if you just give me what I want. It makes me even more happy. Don't you want me more happy? For sure. It's weird to kind of talk about what Joe just doing that. And it was like Jesse, because I never set in on a lesson, or when I read something, I didn't read it Jesse. I just always read it at 7. And those like downfalls hit you really hard when you say Jesse, because Jesse Davis. No, it's good. It's good. But I'm just saying, like, it makes it real. You know, the whole life, man, that's real.
So, for someone who is constantly looking for more, looking for that next thing, and can't get enough, and just always, well, you think of gluttony. And don't think of this in terms of food gluttony, although it could be. If that's kind of what they turn to as kind of that thing that just always, satisfies them. It's fun, But think in terms of, just this insatiable appetite. I like to think of, and it's been a few years. It's not been as long ago as Jurassic Park, so I'll at least have a new movie to draw from. But the first of the Pirates of the Caribbean, when Captain Barbossa, and he's drinking and he's eating and he's just constantly filling his body with stuff. And one of his descriptions of himself was, just in this insatiable appetite for more. And because they were kind of they were dead, but they were walking around and they could not be satisfied. And so they would constantly drink and they would constantly eat. And that's why he was always trying to get her to eat an apple, because he wanted to be able to be filled, but he couldn't because he had this, and the way he described it was this insatiable appetite for more. And I think of that quote from that movie just as far as this gluttony, where I can't get filled, I can't get enough. There's at no point where I've had enough. And so that's a struggle for a 7 is it's always, what's next? What's next? What's next? I'm not satisfied. Okay, I had that, now I'm going to move on to something else. And so it's just constantly more and more. And so when you think of these in terms of things that they can struggle with and how they can miss, be off, always looking for what's next, always looking for more. So, excuse me. So a message that kind of soaked in, that they got, that this childhood wounding, it's not okay to depend on anyone else. You got to take care of yourself. You got to get out there and get it. So they appear to be happy. They appear to, and they're energetic. The cup's half full. They want to be out there and just constantly doing these things. But really, what they needed to hear, what they need from us, and what Jesse needs you to tell them, you will be taken care of, and you will be cared for. They have this insatiable appetite for more because they're worried they're not going to get it. Remember, they're in the fear triad. That's one of the things that I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm not going to have enough. And so, what they need to hear from the world is, you will be taken care of, and you'll be cared for. We're going to take care of you. So once again, that anxiety and fear triad, you can see that going through all 3 of these numbers, where that's something that they need to hear from people. And so be thinking about those kind of things when you're dealing with the 5s, 6s, and 7s in life.
The gluttony thing, collectors and hoarders. Collectors or hoarders. Sherry, what kind of Christmas stuff you got?
We just stepping on everybody's toes.
Hey, I just like to call them out because I love them. That's my people. Ask me about my Christmas stuff. Come to my house and look at my Power Ranger collection. I have it on display.
Just go to his office.
Just go to my office. It's collector. And the thing is, the difference between us and 5s, because 5s won't hold on to something sentimental. I'll hold on to something sentimental. 5s can remove from that emotion where, like, the thing is, 5s can remove from all emotion, but I only want to remove the negative one. So if something sparks joy in my life, it's got joy tied to it. Christmas got joy tied to it. Who don't want Christmassy things? Like, I love that stuff. And so I just am tied to that. I want all Christmas. I want all my childhood toys. Like, I don't want to get rid of them. I saved them all. So it's because I love that stuff. And again, it's just, are you a collector or you become a hoarder even? We just save that stuff. And it just ties to a good emotion for us.
And once again, with that passion, you see again with the gluttony, where addiction is kind of one of those things they can struggle with.
Yeah.
They just constantly, I want another, fill in the blank with whatever, vice it might be. So, All right, so some animals that just kind of radiate this. I'm happy.
A dog or a puppy?
Puppy, dog. All right, we get a lot of those throughout the animals, but for different reasons. But yeah, all right, what are you thinking?
A monkey.
A monkey.
Okay.
All right,
Good one.
like that monkey. What other animals?
Squirrel?
Squirrel.
Squirrel spastic.
Man, I tell you what, every cartoon has got the squirrel drinking coffee. It's just like.
All right, so here's my people. They only listed 2 in the book. Don't worry, I was fun and gave myself 5.
He's got to be more.
Yes. Monkey, butterfly, otter, kangaroo, and this dog right here that's got 3 balls because he loves fun. But here's just a couple of things. Kangaroos, they hop everywhere. They're all over the place. Same with monkeys, tree to tree, want new adventures. Kangaroos can't take a step back. Kangaroos can't step backwards. We are not looking backwards, and 7s don't really live in the moment either. We're kind of, what's the next fun thing we're gonna do? It's like we could be having such a great time, but I'm still thinking about what's the next thing. That's definitely the kangaroo hopping forward next. Otters, like I just feel like that's my spirit animal when I'm at the zoo watching them swim around in the water and stuff. It's like, man, what a cool animal, just connected to that dude just having fun. And the butterfly, he's fluttery and he's everywhere, but I came up with this and it just makes so much sense. And we do this thing in our team things like bug facts, whatever. But me and Brent were looking at bug facts on our way. How many eyes does a caterpillar have? That's 12. How many eyes does a butterfly have?
You're lying.
12,000.
12,000.
12,000. Go ahead, Fives, look it up. I looked it up a whole bunch. Maybe I'm still just looking at the wrong websites, but 12,000 eyes. And man, can I relate to that, because I have 12,000 eyes looking at so many things that I want to do. When somebody's like, Jesse, you want to play racquetball? I'd love to. Jesse, you want to go play disc golf? Yes. Jesse, you want to come watch some movies? Yes. I want to do all those things. Leslie, do you want to hang out with your family? Yes. Do I want to do all these other things though? Yes. I'm just so torn about all these things. I just feel like I'm pulled in so many directions. I feel like a butterfly who I can just see everything. There's just a big world out there, and I want to sample it all. So I definitely connect to the old fluttery butterfly.
We've had enough of your 7 tonight.
Joe's so offensive. Joe got to call himself handsome during the 2 thing. I didn't say nothing about that.
I'm sure it was written up there. Okay, so next week we've covered all 9 numbers through the triad thing. We started with 8, 9, and 1. Now we're all the way back around to 7. So next week what we're going to do, and this really needs your help with this, or our class will be really super lame. We need you to show up at least having kind of sorted out and figured out maybe where your tendencies lie. You don't have to be 100% certain or anything, but kind of have figured out your number, because here's what I want you to do. You got some homework. Don't sound fun, but it does sound helpful. Here's because it's going to be helpful to our class. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to come up with, for your particular number, and however you choose to do it, that's fine. If you want to kind of spend some time thinking about it, or if you're just going to click the Google and get it over with. But I'd rather you spend some little time thinking about it. Come up with a theme scripture, a theme verse for your number. Okay? You might need to download that Enneagram app and get some reminders about kind of what each of them are like, and be reminded of some of the characteristics of your particular number. But come with your number, kind of sorted out, because what we want to do is we kind of want to bust up into our number groups next week, and talk a little bit about maybe what you see as a key verse, a key scripture, a theme, something along those lines from the Bible. And that's for next week. So
lab class next week. So these have been lecture classes. We'll have a lab class next week.
All right. Well, I'll pray Saturday. I know we're over time, so we'll get out of here. Again, God, thank you for this absolutely gorgeous day. We know good things in life come from you, and we want to give you all the praise for those kind of things. And so we're really just blessed with how nice this week has been. And thank you for this opportunity to once again kind of maybe get a little uncomfortable, but have a little fun talking about ourselves and others, and just kind of working through this whole relationship thing. And because we know that when the world sees us loving on each other, they're going to be pointed towards you. And so that's what we want. In the name of Christ I pray. Amen.